Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. So I haven't uploaded here for quite a while, as you can probably imagine. However, I am back to release content again, just for fun, you know, and I thought it would be great to coincide my comeback with Monster High's comeback, which because it's had such a big influence on my childhood and the way I grew up and the way that I've grown as an artist, I thought it was quite perfect. Now, technically speaking, Monster High had its first comeback with the Haunted Couture and all the other collected dolls that came before it this year. However, I don't care. I'm just going to come back now because I can. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we are talking about the drama surrounding the comeback, and no, we're not talking about the movie or the series today, not specifically. We are going to focus on the dolls today, because they are the surprisingly less spoken about, more controversial part of the comeback. Well, okay, I would say not necessarily because of the designs, but we'll get into it in just a second. First of all, I'd like to apologise for my voice. I have got a cold. We struggle, that's all it is. And second of all, I'd like to apologise for the mic quality. I am waiting to get a new mic this weekend, so hopefully that improves for the next video. But, let's get on to it, shall we? As you can see, I'm drawing Frankie today, and since my last upload, since it was, I believe, 2 years ago now, my style's quite drastically changed. This was only a quick sketch, just to have something in the background, because I just really needed to get this video out there, my frustration on this specific part of the comeback. And I'm sure that a lot of people from the UK and from, like, you know, international fans of Monster High will agree with me. They will understand the frustration because they probably have it as well. So let's get into it, shall we? So Monster High came back with Haute Couture, obviously. We won't really speak much about it other than how quick it sold out. Because to me the line was perfect. It was beautiful, the detailing of the dolls, the face molds, the everything about it, really. The design, the execution, it was amazing. It was really well done from Mattel. And then we had the concepts and the trailers and the little clips spoiled about the movie and the series come out in Generation 3. This is where it started getting a bit hectic. So we had people hating on the designs, just slightly. Little details about some of the characters, like, for example, backstories and just other small parts of the characters, but again, we won't really get into that because that's not what we're here to talk about today. And then came out the PreProduction, which is basically the first line of the dolls that was remade and altered slightly, but essentially kept for the most part the same. And originally Mattel was releasing this on their store, Mattel Creations, and they released it to the UK version as well, the UK Mattel site. And they also said that it would be available in stores, but only within America, within, I believe it was Walmart and Target. However, due to some issues, this would then change to select stores only, so fans have their own speculations and theories about as to why that can be. And the brunt of it all is basically stock issues because of the company that produces the dolls having been forced on a lockdown, I think was the main theory. But we're not sure 100%. Either way, not all of the stock was delivered to stores in time for the release date, and it's much easier to just, you know, not release all of the stock than to redo the date, which would cost a lot. And so they pushed forwards anyways. And here's the first big issue that came with PreProduction, and it was the scalpers. Good God, the scalpers. They if you don't know what scalpers are, if you're not part of any collection community, it's essentially when people use bots to buy limited edition stock of a certain collector's item almost instantly and buy multiple copies of it and then resell it online at extremely high prices, higher than the retail price. And Mattel did absolutely nothing about it. They did not care that this had happened. despite fans' dismay. And it's sad, really, because a lot of people, especially international fans of the franchise, were not able to grab the dolls. And since we still have had no release date about when these will be coming to store in other countries aside from America, we still have no clue. And then comes on the next problem of Mattel, and it is their lack of communication. Despite fans constantly asking for restocks and for the problem about the scalpers to be addressed, Mattel never addressed the issue. They just continued about their day. They just continued about the what was the word? Yes, the comeback. Sorry, brain fart. Regardless, it did not go very well. However, the people that did get their dolls were very happy. In fact, you can still look and find the pre-production dolls on sale from scalpers for extremely high prices. The next issue that came with the pre-productions became when fans found out that the retail price for international buyers had actually risen. Now, Mattel has done this before. We're not stupid. We know they've done this before, and we know they will do it again. It's just, it was extremely annoying for customers to not only have to deal with scalpers and check out the buggy website when it came to checking out, but also now having to pay up to $15 more than American buyers. It definitely felt like we were being punished. Even I wasn't able to grab any of the pre-production because of this reason. And it was just a really big disappointment. This exciting, momentous occasion for the franchise suddenly turned very sour, and it did not get any better with Real Drama. So, Real Drama has a very fitting name because there was very much drama surrounding its release. Again, they were meant to be sold online on certain sites. However, Mattel also said that they will be available in stores, and I believe, just like the pre-production, I don't know if I've mentioned this. Yes, I have. So it was changed from available in stores to available in select stores, and I believe that the scalpers got all of the dolls in about 2 minutes. So very few people managed to grab theirs, and again, they're available on many online sites such as eBay now for ridiculously high prices. And it's just a real shame for someone that's been there from the first generation, since, you know, the series was essentially started back in 2011 or whenever it was. It was just a real big shame to see how Mattel just essentially did not care. They said that buyers would only be able to purchase 2 dolls per person, and clearly their system did not work at all, because not only did the site crash, not only did people get stuck in their frozen cart for ages, but the dolls were sold out in 2 minutes. And it was a real shame. It was a real shame that Mattel had not listened to the fans at all, and again, their lack of communication persevered, because we still have no answers on this. You can see many threads on Reddit being confused about it, many people in the comments asking for restocks, asking about the scalpers, asking if Mattel cares, and then there's the other fans who acknowledge that this is probably good for Mattel, because on the one hand, even though the fans are now having a terrible relationship with the company, Mattel has a 100% chance of its stock being sold out. It means more money for them, and so why should they care? And it's really disappointing. I know I've said this like 3 times already, but it really is disappointing. And then came the next controversial part of the comeback, which was the international release dates. So typically with Monster Highlines we would have the UK releases around 1 month after the American releases with previous Monster Highlines. However, with these lines, it has been almost half a year since the pre-production's original release on May 26th, I think, around, and still no word on when they shall be released. Some companies have been reached out to by British fans. Since I'm based in the UK, I'll be speaking strictly Britain because I'm not sure about other countries, but for example, people have reached out to Smith's Toys asking about stock. and Smith's Toys said that they weren't sure that at the time of recording this, they didn't know about stock. They didn't know about if they would have it or not. People reached out to Tesco's, and actually Tesco responded in a tweet saying that they would have the dolls in a few months. However, they didn't have the stock just yet, but to watch out for them in the next coming months. And then they backtracked in another tweet saying that no, the dolls would not be available in stores. The toy stores, for example, Argos, no word from them. I'm sure if you look around on the internet, you'll be able to find loads of people's stories about this and their frustrations with it. But it really is just a shame that we've got not only no news, but the news that we do have is very frustrating. It's not enough, and Mattel just are not doing enough to make this comeback as good as it could be and as satisfying as it should be for the long-time fans. I think it's great that they're doing a comeback that is able to bring in new fans, people who weren't able to enjoy the original series. Say about the new Generation 3 designs what you will, but it is great that we're able to add more people to the community. It's just a shame how Mattel have handled it. I think it could have been handled a lot better. I have many frustrations with this comeback due to this. You know, between the scalpers, where I didn't even mention the insane delivery, because the scalpers obviously bought the dolls in the US, you'd have to import them, and so there's even more expenses than if you were to be an American having to buy from the scalper, and it's just not worth it, you know? It really is just not worth it. And especially since Mattel have, you know, changed the prices for international buyers, which makes it even more expensive. Oh, sorry if this is very rambly, it's just so frustrating, and I really should have written a script for this. Regardless, my main point here is Mattel needs to do better. We've got a few rumours going around that we will have the releases somewhere around December, some sources say October, and some say that we won't have anything until 2023. It's just more than words can convey. It's just a long waiting period, and fair play to the fans. The fans are trying to handle it as well as they can, you know. Between the odd design choices, the inconsistent design choices of Gen 3, the terrible selling out within minutes for every single doll line they have, the lack of communication, and the lack of change anything to reduce these issues going on, which they are very much in control of. As other sites of the toy sets have proven to be able to stop things like scalpers. Mattel just are really not doing well, and this is not the comeback that we deserved, in my honest opinion. But on a much more brighter note, we can definitely, well, not definitely, but we can at least expect the dolls within the UK, and typically if they come to the UK, they come to a bigger, wider variety of countries. For example, Philippines, other countries within Europe. And the reason that fans are suspecting that dolls will definitely hit the UK stores is because of the little mark that we've seen on the boxes of Real Drama and the PreProductions and the Gen 3, which says UKCA. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the symbol on toys that they have to have in order to be imported and sold in Britain. It's a sign that has now replaced, I believe it was CE, since Brexit, and so the dolls having this on their box is very promising, and it's basically the only thing keeping me and a lot of fans going at this rate, because all of this is just absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, we've gone on a massive tangent here and I've repeated the same point 10 million times. But what are your thoughts about this topic? Were you able to snag any of the dolls? Were you able to buy from a scalper? Did you choose to do that? Personally, I know that a lot of people haven't, but there are definitely many people who have. And what do you think overall about Mattel's response, or I guess lack of a response to the situation? Are you equally as annoyed, or do you not care as much? I will also probably be doing a video where I redesign the Generation 3 girls and boys, and the they thems, of course, for Frankie. And I think that would be an interesting video to tackle, you know, the designs and the problems with the backstories and more of the movies and the series issues within those. But for now, I hope that you enjoy this little video. I hope you share your thoughts, and I severely hope that we get some information from Mattel soon, because this is so incredibly frustrating. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little rant and the little speed painted Frankie in the background. Thank you.